me just plug that back in. Ah, what are you?
I've gotten myself into like a comfy corner this time because I just need to be happy with like the shot, because otherwise it bothers me the whole time when I watch it back.
Oh no, well I've done the same thing this time. I've just went for like a little nice corner. I've got like a nice little wedge under me so I'm comfortable. Because I just want to sit and chat, you know, I just want to be comfy and...
It's so funny how we've both done that today.
Yeah, we're like literally both like right in a corner, like snug. That's just the vibe. I just felt it. I was just like, this is what I want today.
We're both like, I want to feel safe and cozy and nice.
I've went for like, I want to feel like I'm in the womb, like that's how, I want to feel like snug. If I could be in like an isolation tank today, I would be doing it from there if I could.
You know what, I don't know why that reminded me of, I was watching this like house tour of, was it Cara Delevingne? You know
Oh
her?
yeah.
And she has this like, she opens this cupboard and she's like, this is my womb vagina tunnel, and like it's this like pink, and it's been designed by some like famous artist or something, and then she goes through it and then she comes out and she's on the other side it's a washing machine. Like a pink washing machine, and she comes out
when
of
you
it,
come out of it,
she's like, now we're all fresh and clean. I was like, what is it? She's nuts.
But that's the type of nuts that I would watch and be like, I get it, you know, like I understand. Yeah. It's the right kind of nuts.
That's so good. I'm gonna do my nails as we talk, because I was like, there's something to do.
Yeah.
On top of what we're already doing.
Therapeutic as well.
Yeah.
So how has your week been, Leyla? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? This week's been very like productive. Literally on Sunday I realised I was like, basically with my degree, I was kind of like, when did we start? Like a month ago? Like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And to be fair, like I have been thinking about it, and I think I've been doing work but without putting it down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And doing like research. But no one could tell because I hadn't put it down. And also, as a photography project, I had taken basically, well, no photos. So I was like, it's because I'm like balancing so many things. So like 3 weeks went past and I was like, oh yeah, I have a degree, and where did the time go? So I've like fully planned it out now, mapped it out, so every day's been like, I don't know, I'm like a new woman, Mike. I don't know who I am.
Well, that's what I like to hear. I mean, obviously I've heard, is this your photography project with the washing line and the photos of the people up behind them, and then they're going to come in and, yeah.
So I'm going to do that's kind of the end goal, but right now it's so fun. I just go around town, and basically anyone with streetwear that stands out or is like subculture, counterculture, and yeah, I just go up to them with my little point and shoot film camera and say, hi guys, like I'm doing an MA photography project, and well, I don't even know, I've said it so many times, but
It's just on
my brain's
autopilot.
like, I don't really want to say it right now. But basically asking them if I can take a picture of them because they look cool, and usually they say okay. I take like a full body one, a close up of something that caught my attention, and then I get them to take a selfie with it, which
okay, that's nice.
I literally love because every time it makes them like really happy, it starts a conversation, and I feel like as a photographer we can, I don't know, you feel like you've got all the control, and like the person who stood there getting the photo taken off, I don't know, I feel like they can feel a bit like weird. So by giving the power back to them at the end, plus it shows that I trust them because I'm literally handing my camera over to like a total stranger. So I think it's like a nice reason to just kind of meet people first, and then I get their emails and names. So I'm going to send them the pictures, even if they don't want to get involved later on, but I'm also going to explain to them like what else I'm doing, and if they want to come along, they can. I don't want to say too much about that because I'd rather like once I do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, because things can change as it goes along as well, can't they?
Yeah. With me, like at the beginning, I think it was the first week, and our lecturer said, "So you guys got any ideas?" And I said an idea, and I said to her, I was like, "But knowing me, it's definitely gonna change."
Yeah.
It changed like completely. Actually, it changed twice. Because I even had like a full-on tutorial with someone, and he helped me. It was like an hour tutorial, and after that tutorial, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I feel like I've come to the end of this idea.
I was like, this is not the idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just me. So I'd rather. I know I'm sticking with this idea, but obviously, like it's gonna expand as I do it, rather than like I have kind of an end goal, but the end goal will always be different.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on who you meet as well and where that could go.
Especially that, like, for example, I did a project on Muslim women last time, and in my head I was like, I'm gonna have 12 women at the end, and like blah blah blah. I just had 3 people, and honestly, it couldn't have worked out better. But you can't plan that, especially when you work with people and you've only got a 3-month deadline. You just gotta roll with the punches, like.
Oh yeah, and also like when the pressure hits as well, it's surprising what comes out. Like when you get towards, like, as it gets closer, like something could just come up or come out of it that you weren't even expecting. So that's exciting too. Like you're just open to the change.
Exactly, but the reason I love doing it is like, I definitely feel like every time I create for uni or like anything, I always feel this kind of, you tap into like spirit, or you know, like the rhythm of nature and creation. For example, I don't know why this is an example of it, but when I was on the bus, I saw this couple, and they were like almost play fighting, and they had like 2 prams as well on the bus, and they both had like a kind of a small mohawk, I guess, and I was like sat there like, do I do it on the bus? Do I do it on the bus? And then my brain was like, yeah, but what if they might get off on the same bus stop, and I was like, and like the thing I get with photography is that you get this gut intuition. You're constantly tapped into intuition, and like I think people can actually learn a lot from it, because people, I think a lot of the time you're scared to be rejected or whatever, whereas I just do not care. Like if I get rejected, I know that they're not meant for my project, and they would probably have ruined it or something. So like, say la vie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about with that gut instinct, because when I was doing journalism, like even though the camera's not necessarily like something we would do all the time, we still would have to go out on the street and like try and interview people in public. And you are like so in your gut with that, because you're using all of your senses as well, aren't you? And you're like, that would look good, or they seem like an interesting person. Then you got to like tap into why you're being drawn there, and sometimes they're not in the right space or energy for it. Like really puts you into your gut in that way. And I remember being so nervous like doing that as well. So by the stage you're at with it, it's cool that you can just listen to that and be like, you know, it's either right for my project or it isn't. The rejection is not something that you're worried about anymore, which is cool. That's like such a good life skill as well.
And what I found is like the ones that I'm like, oh, I'm not sure, they're not really out there enough, or you know, it's kind of, I've chosen them out of almost like, oh, I just want to take a picture, rather than them actually being like right for the project. They're always the ones who say no, so it's just like testimony for that kind of thing. And it says a lot as well about the people. Like, honestly, this has been the nicest project ever. Like, I've met some wonderful people, because people who are willing to express themselves most of the time, other than like 1 or 2 who came across very socially anxious. But everyone else who is willing to express themselves through clothes, and they just have this, a lot of them have like nicknames, or they just have this, I don't know, like this confidence about themselves, even if they're not in their head. Like you can just tell that they know who they are, and they're so excited to just be a part of something and to connect and to like, I don't know, it's just really wonderful, like, to connect with those people, even if it is for a short amount of time, and they're always so enthusiastic and open.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing, and it's funny how it really does link, because the people that I asked who aren't dressed like that, because I thought, oh, maybe I'll try and see who else would want to kind of be involved, and yeah, they all said no.
Well, I think it's like you're saying, if you got into, you can kind of see who are these like beacons as well of energy, and they're like drawing you in almost as well, so they're going to be very connective. I'm looking forward to seeing your projects, you know, that you create in this stage of your life as well. It's going to be really cool to see what comes out of it. I think it's going to be great.
I'm so excited because now I can imagine my own tattoo, for example. Like, I'm so ready for it.
Oh, it's coming in.
My new name, Honey.
Yeah.
Which only, I mean, I was gonna say only so, but I literally forgotten this is for a podcast. But I'm just in the flow. But yeah, like, it's just a spiritual kind of name that has been given to me over the last year, and it feels so right. I just need to double check, like, the character does actually mean that with a Japanese person, ideally.
Yes, yeah, because you don't want one of those situations where it just says something totally different.
Absolutely not. And then yeah, Japanese, because of obviously my influences from like Eastern philosophies and like Taoism and Zen Buddhist teachings and Stoicism, all these things, which have actually kind of like joined in with like my new connection to God as well. And yeah, I feel like I've just got this whole new like understanding of what I guess like a connection to God is, or like connection to the world. And I think a lot of people do misunderstand it because of the stigma around religion and like the way it's seen.
Oh yeah, I mean there is a massive stigma. I'm not someone that is outside of that stigma either. Like, I find it very hard to relate to religion, yet I do have friends that are Christian, and when they explain their connection to it, I'm like, well, there's actually more similarities in how I see the world with people in religion than I thought, and I think I can relate to the fundamentals. It's just I guess a difference in the end goal, the word that you use for it, you know, that's all it is. I think that's where the stigma comes from.
Yeah, because I used to not want to use that word, and then I thought, well, if that is what the name for this energy is, I feel like it would be offended if you didn't call it by it. It's like being like, Mike, I'm not going to call you Mike because it makes me feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to call you Stephen. Like,
oh, that's my fave name.
Like, I don't know, but I also do understand it. Like, it's obviously a very touchy subject, so please no one attack me. But it's just my thoughts.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, we've got very different like points of view, I guess, with even those things, but it doesn't ever bring up any awkwardness with us. It's like, for me, like, I don't gravitate towards God in that name. I just gravitate to like source. That's what I would call it. Like, for me, it's just source and like primordial waters, and that sort of terminology is what feels right for me. And I think that's just because I'm really drawn to like ancient Egypt and their creation story. That's like where my heart's always been pulled. But yeah, when I talk to people that are in religion, and all of the fundamentals are still exactly the same, and the outlook. So for me, it's less about the name and more about just, you know, you do you, whatever your connection is to that, that's what's right for you.
And whatever that thing is the thing that's, you know, you said you're pulled to the Egypt stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it is the one pulling you that way.
Yeah.
You're not, you know, it's not your doing, it's this other force that is saying, I need you to go this way.
Yeah, exactly. It's very like multifaceted, I guess, like people's relationships with that. But yeah, I don't know, like even on the like the topic of God and Christianity, it's something that comes around to me quite often as well. Like, even I went to, so like my week's been very, it feels like it's been very focused on love, but witnessing other people's love. It's been like I had my cousin's wedding on Saturday, and like a series of events happened, and I was the only person from my family that went to this wedding, and it was just like overwhelming to see, like, because obviously it's my cousin and it's family. Like when other people are in love, you don't really, I guess, have as deep of a relationship with their love, whereas with my cousin, I know a whole journey with it, and it was just so beautiful to see and witness it. And I ended up getting drove to the wedding by one of my uncle's friends who I'd never met before. And like he was like on the drive back, he was telling me that he was a medium and really connected in, and he was talking to me about God as well, and he had a really personal link with God and with Jesus, and it was just so fascinating for me to listen to his connection and how that's guided him in his life. And then it becomes less about the stigma and more about, it's like not a stigma at that point, because you can see how it's transformed the people's lives that it's come to. So I'm like, even though that's not my journey, I can see how it's transformed your life and why it's so, like, this is why that's the direction you've went. And it's just great. Like, I love to hear the connectivity and how that's a guiding force in people's lives. So I don't ever knock anyone's relationship in that way, because that's all that matters at the end of the day, is your self-growth and this self-journey. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I'd say, like, you, because you were there before, like, I had, like, my Jesus experience, because I was fully in the New Age stuff.
Yeah.
You've seen the change, right?
Yeah, I've seen the change. I've seen, like, I see the way that everything is coming together in your life now, so it's beautiful, and nothing but respect for that journey.
And actually, yesterday was quite crazy, because I still have resistance in terms of, like, that's this stuff, like Christianity and stuff, but I literally yesterday I had this like such a powerful rebirth, and it's going to connect to my song as well. Honestly, it was crazy. But I actually, like, read a bit of the Bible. Sometimes I'll, like, get it out, because even though some of it, like, triggers me and I don't really understand it or agree with it, like, sometimes I feel like I don't agree with it because I don't understand it in terms of my spiritual growth isn't quite there. So I'm not able to be as open as I can be to take it in the correct way. Wait, I'm just gonna go get it. Really fancy. So, I came across, basically, I read a bit, and they were two separate texts given by separate things, but they both had a similar message. And I saw this, and you don't have to, like, for me it was, Christ is in the Word. But it was, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old is gone and the new is here, with an exclamation mark, like, super excited. And that whole thing, I'm not kidding, so that was yesterday. I woke up with this energy, like, this is before I even read this. I felt like I'm born again. And, you know, we were talking about, like, struggles with, like, food and whatever. I swear down, like, I've been almost, like, praying and doing affirmations as well, about, like, letting that go, because it was something that I, like, gained through trauma, like, trying to deal with certain situations, like certain relationships, and I was like, you don't need this anymore, you know, you don't need this self-soothing technique. I thought it was never going to go away, but I guess I literally have not given up. And then that day I woke up different, like, my whole body wanted something different. I craved not just food, but, like, a different life. I craved a different life, and then I'll say about the song, but I don't know, I was so productive, and basically one of my mates that I met just on chance, he skates and stuff, he was messaging me, and I said to him, he said like, what you've been up to, and I said, oh, it's been a productive and fun day.
Yeah.
And I laughed because I was like, productive and fun in the same sentence to me it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
Possibly since like year 11 or something. And also I don't have this sense of loneliness anymore. Like, I have gotten rid of codependency, and it's incredible. Like, it is so good.
I love that.
I'm so happy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very good day. I literally got everything done. I had a plan. This all started on like Monday, to be honest, this kind of like motion. And I'm tired, but I'm happy. Like,
yeah.
I'm just so grateful. And last night I just cried because I felt like I was surrounded by so much love.
Mm.
This was just before bed, and I was just sat there, and all I could think was thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Because if people had seen my insides and my life the way that I had seen it before compared to now,
yeah,
I don't even know how to explain it. I can't even put it into words. Like, it's incredible. It's literally like a miracle.
Do you know, it's just like listening to you talk, like, I understand that, like, what you're talking about with just not feeling alone anymore, and I think a lot of that for me comes from like my connection to myself and to my intuition, and then knowing that I'm a part of this world and I'm a part of the flow. That's what stops me from feeling alone, because there's this flow to life that I feel really connected to, and how can you feel alone when you feel that energy? And it's really difficult to explain, but that is what really picked me up and lifted me up and got me to the point I'm at now. And then the last week there's been nothing but love coming in around me, and I've had the same thing. Like, I have cried because of love, like, once this week so intensely, and I can't really talk much about it because it's not like public, but I'd witnessed an engagement and I just cried because it was all of this love and all of this guiding force that was coming in around it, and it was just so beautiful. And yeah, it's difficult to put into words though, isn't it? But for me, I always just think it's that connection to myself and to the world that's really allowing that to come in. And then even what you were saying with like you reading the Bible and maybe not all of it resonating, that's fine too. The whole thing doesn't need to resonate with you. And also, like, when you go back far enough with the Bible, there's books that weren't included, and there are things that are kind of left out, like the Book of Enoch and all of these things. And I do think maybe the masculine energy element kind of came into the Bible as a forefront rather than a balanced sort of energy with the feminine as well. Like, when you go back far enough, that is in there too. And I think that's why I'm drawn to like ancient religions more so, because I find more of that concept in there, like with Taoism and that sort of thing. That's why I'm drawn to that, because I'm like, that to me feels like I'm getting the full picture. But then even like growing up, my dad was a Freemason and they read the Bible as well, but they read it in a very different way. So even like numerologically and what's the word for it? Like, not using your logical brain, using your creative brain to kind of read that book also gives you a new layer of understanding to it as well. So it's very multifaceted. And yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that, but those were just the things I was thinking as you were talking.
No, I get that reading. Like, it's I mean, I practiced it from like a New Age perspective originally.
Yeah.
But actually it was always God or whatever, love. I'm gonna call it love, and whatever else is fear.
Yeah.
So, dark.
Okay, yeah. I can
to me, like, that was actually what happened yesterday night. I was talking out loud and I was like, you know what, like, everyone just misunderstands you. You're just love. And the only thing that's getting in the way of you is fear.
Yeah.
And
but
that's
then,
as simple.
Yeah, but then it
is.
becomes your own relationship with love, doesn't it? Rather than it being a book, rather than it being a movement. Like, you don't even need any of those things. You just need your relationship with love and creation.
Think about it. All these spiritual teachers, including Jesus Christ, whether or not you agree that he existed, they didn't have these books.
Exactly.
There was some things there, but they didn't actually, like, Jesus was actually like a hippie who just walked and just like went up to people and he was poor. But he had values. He knew himself. He had values of kindness, patience, you know, all these things. And it's the same for like Buddha and whatever else. I don't want to like
go through every
but they all have the same qualities, and they're all connected to, like you said, you know yourself, like your relationship to yourself.
Yeah.
And the point is that your relationship to yourself expands into the whole universe, like.
Yeah.
And once you learn to love yourself, and it's said so much, but to me, love is like genuine love. Like, how can I, you know, self-discipline is a form of love. Effort is love.
Yeah. Boundaries is love.
Boundaries is love. But also giving is love. Receiving, you know, and it's kind of finding your perfect potion and balance of all of those things so that you feel it and you encompass it. And I'm in a place where I could not be defensive about really anything at all. And if I am, then I go, that's okay, we learn. I'm so kind and patient with myself now and understanding, because I know that I'm doing my best. And like, just because you did something that is maybe seen as bad doesn't mean that you're a bad person, and doesn't mean you can't grow from that place, because you always can. We always are growing, but if we dwell on it, then we're going to stunt that growth and hurt ourselves in the long run.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like, this sort of conversation is what, like, with any of my friends that are religious as well, like, when you start talking about this and you get into this, I'm like, this is exactly how I feel, and that's exactly what I'm drawn to as well, and that's exactly what I agree with. And like, that is like the underlying message, I feel. And like, when you get rid of all of the texts or books or like organized religion element of it, and you talk about this element of it, I'm like, that is something that could unify everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like talking about that, because beyond everything else, that is how I live my life too. And I love it. And the last week has given me so much direct witness to love itself as well, that it's been very powerful. From the wedding to the engagement to even just the things that I'm being drawn to. I was watching Florence and the Machine yesterday, because she's back out with an album, and I love her whole energy. She's just so amazing. She's so ethereal. Unique and ethereal, like proper witch vibe, and I love her. And I was watching a live performance she was doing of a song called My Love, and I was like, of course, this is the song I'm watching, and I can't get it out of my head. And it's just like, she's singing, I guess, about the last couple of years, and she just doesn't know where to put her love anymore. Like, she's just like lost in that. Like, what do I do with this love? Like, I'm not seeing where it can go anymore at this point. And then I guess it's just about going back into yourself. But
Sorry.
Oh, that's alright.
my bedtime. Well, it's not bedtime, but it's like get ready for bed.
Start winding down for bed. That's fine, we'll keep the tone nice and chill. Do you know what I was just thinking about, just because we were talking about Jesus? It just reminded me, because I've always been really drawn to the number 33, haven't I? Like, it's just my number that I see everywhere.
You have it on your body.
It's on my body, like, I see it everywhere. And I remember when I was at summer camp, I probably have told you this before, but it just made me think of it. And it was probably like the first week And there was like this 6-year-old kid, like just I was sat, because at camp you have dinner tables and they mix all of the ages up so you all like, intermingle together. And he was asking me about my tattoo, and I was like, how do I explain about like synchronistically seeing a number and taking that as a sign for like my intuition to a 6-year-old? And I was just trying to explain it the best I could to him, and he obviously didn't get what I was talking about. And he got up, and then I was like, he was wearing this basketball jersey, and I was like, what is on the back of your t-shirt right now? And he was like, it's 33. I've got a big 33 on the back of my jersey. I was like, now this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the sort of thing that happened with me when I'm like talking about my intuition or like trying to find some guidance. And he just laughed, and he was like, you're like Jesus. And then I just instantly was like, well, Jesus died at 33, so, you know, maybe I am. And then it freaked him out so much, he just didn't know how to speak to me for like at least a few days. But then I remember as well, like, when my dad was like, it was so fun, but also, like, the guy in his cabin was like, why is everyone in my cabin talking about you and calling you Jesus? I was like, please don't let your ego get bruised by it. It's not because I'm, like, on this pedestal, it's just because of this story that, you know, this thing that happens. But, yeah, it just made me laugh so much. But then it also reminded me that because my dad was a Freemason and they kind of read the Bible a bit differently, he was talking about the 33 vertebrae in the spine and how it's kind of like an enlightenment thing as well, about this energy that travels up to, or like pineal gland that happens during like an enlightenment. And I thought that was cool as well. But yeah, I just love that story because I was like, it couldn't have happened more perfectly. I was like, this is just so funny.
That made me think of the first day I did my photos. I did it on my lunch break. Firstly, that whole day, Christmas songs kept coming on shuffle, like in our shop, and we were like, "What? Like, I don't want to be singing to these. This is Christmas songs." And then I realised I was like, "Christmas, okay, yeah, I forgot what Christmas was for." And then I go out at lunch to take pictures, and the first guy, he's got long hair and a beard. And then I took a picture of him, and then I said, could I take a name? And then he said Brian, and then as I was walking away, he went, Jesus Christ, and I was like, what? And he was like, my name is Jesus Christ, and I was like, perfect, thank you so much. And that was the first person that I took a photo of, so I was like, cool, this project is it.
It's just so mad how things line up to your energy, ain't it? Like that. Like, it's just, I love it. I just could talk about that for days on end. There's been so many weird moments, like, over the years where I'm just like, you can't even write this. And then you realise, oh, like, I'm not even writing this. This is life. This sort of connectivity is life.
It's
and
so
I love it.
Beautiful to be tapped in, and I'm realising as well now, like, people reach out or I just happen to speak to them, and sometimes you don't know why someone might come into your life or you have that connection. And like, I'm slowly realising I know that I am in alignment with who I am now, because everyone I'm connecting with now is, you know, like me and creative or spiritually connected, and it feels so good to know that.
Oh no.
Yay, it's coming into my reality, and also I'm in a space where I don't need it.
Yeah.
So it's just like a little extra gift. Like, it's great.
It's like as soon as you stop looking for it, there it is. Which, isn't that just funny as well? I mean, I was thinking, like, even with that wedding, it was really nice to go because I had bought those flowery trousers, and I was like, okay, like, I'm just gonna start wearing what I want to wear. And like, I feel like that was probably the first event I've been to where I didn't really know anyone, and it was just interesting to see like where my energy would take me around the room of people. And like, even I think it's like not necessarily that everyone there is spiritual or like me, but because this self-growth like journey takes you right to the core, I guess, of like being a human and like this energy of being on earth, you almost can talk to that core of people, and then on that level everyone's related. And I was talking to like my cousin's husband's family, and we were just like getting into like our histories, and I was talking to these two ladies who have like kids now, and they were talking about how they used to drink or do drugs to kind of mask how they were really feeling, and I was like, okay, I can talk to that. And there was another lady that just kind of like stopped my cousin, and then I come over just at the right time and sat down, and she was talking about how she had suffered with chronic pain for years, and then she just went on this, she had like an enlightenment moment, and then started to go down this journey of figuring out how trauma and how your thought patterns can manifest in the body, and how this is what was happening to her. And she was talking about Winnie the Pooh to me and how it talks to that concept, and I was like, what? Like, and I was like, my mum loves like Winnie the Pooh, I could tell her that, like maybe that's why she's always been drawn to it.
Winnie the Pooh is actually like, it always has the best quotes.
Yeah, and like I wish I could remember more about what she said about it, but she was like, honestly, take another look at that because it speaks to what I'm saying. And like everyone I was talking to, I was like, it's like everyone is me, but these people always are gonna have had these things, but maybe who I was before couldn't speak to that element of them, or couldn't speak to the truth of who they were. Whereas like it was such an effortless night, even though I didn't know anyone there, because it's like all of those things started to connect, and it was just actually really a fun time to go around and speak to everyone and connect. And then that guy that was like a medium that drove me there, I was like, this is just everything that I love. And it's just all here around me. But maybe it is just because like you're speaking to, because I feel like I've been on this journey myself, it's like you can speak to that element in other people too, and it's there in every person.
That's actually such a good point. Like, yeah, rather than it being like, because now I will speak to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, the lady at the bus stop who does cleaning, and it's about finding commonality and knowing that, hey, we're all human, we're all doing this together, we're all in this together. It can be a bit of a freaking ride.
Oh yeah.
But we can make it better by connecting and seeing that we're not alone, because we're really not alone. We don't have to make it even more difficult for ourselves by making ourselves alone and detaching and being scared of each other. Like, who told us to be scared of each other? I almost feel like it's ancestral trauma from like the war.
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh, actually, we don't need to be that way. And most of us are all right. Most of us are great, amazing.
I know. But that's why I'm a big advocate of just turning off the news and turning to the people in front of you in your life. Because there's so much common ground to just find. And even like when you said about commonality, I was watching, have you ever seen Love on the Spectrum?
Yeah.
I was watching the US one yesterday, and like you find when you're watching that, like when people are autistic or they're on a spectrum in some way, they almost like they don't understand social cues, but I find that it's like they don't understand like the games people play, or like the ego games people play with each other. In that respect, they just don't get it. They're just factual, they're here for the connection, and the way that they speak to each other is so factual because they're looking for that common ground. And I was really just learning something from that. I was like, this is all connection is, you know, just talk honestly and find common ground and go from there. And like I was watching these people do that, and I was like, what a shame that they just haven't been able to, you know, do that before, find connection before, because that's really all they're doing. And I love that. I was just watching it like, commonality is what we need to find.
Well, anything where it's labelled as something, whether it's like autistic or ADHD or whatever, to me it's a label that society has given them.
Yeah.
Because they struggle to feel comfortable around them, because they don't understand. They don't want to take the time to understand, so we put a label on it.
Yeah.
How about we look at their strengths? How about we look at how can they add additional value to society the way that we do? We figured out our strengths. We've generalized them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's how we go. And often it's not even true for everyone. But how about we say, okay, I don't understand, but can we get them to explain? Can we get them to explain their experience, and also you know, let them use their strengths to add to society? And like you said, they're blunt, they're actually not got like that ego, which is brilliant. I mean, how many spiritual teachers are trying to get rid of that?
Exactly. But that's what I love. And like, even, I know I always talk about camp, but it's relevant again because I remember, like, because I taught radio at that camp in America, but the boss of the camp came like in halfway through like the time of me being there, and he was like, oh, did you know that like every kid that comes into your sessions are like the kids that have autism and have like all of these like labelled conditions? And I didn't even notice. I didn't even know. I was like, how funny that every kid that has that is in there. And he was like, I wonder why that is. And all I could think is that the way I ran my sessions in radio would be like, get the kids in front of a microphone and get them to speak whatever's on their mind, and then everyone else just had to be respectful and listen to whatever it is they wanted to say. And that's the environment it was. So it's like they could just come in and talk about whatever they wanted, and then it'd be on to the next person and everyone would listen. And I was like, maybe that's just what they're gravitated towards there, because they could just be open and talk about whatever they want without it feeling like, you know, without it being like a social interaction where they don't understand like the cues of what people are saying or like what they mean by it. And I just thought that was really cool. And also I was just like, well, I didn't even notice. So, like, it just feels like there's so much emphasis on these labels when maybe we just need to listen a bit more, be a bit more compassionate, and then allow people to just be who they are rather than expecting everyone to follow the same conventions.
Okay, this is actually like such a perfect description for like, well, we do it in theatre, for example, right? When we did contemporary theatre works at uni. Sometimes we'd say, how can we do something that the audience isn't expecting?
Yeah.
To make them feel weirded out or confused. Like, we wanted to break those societal, okay, so this happens and this happens. Oh, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like,
yeah,
you know,
panic.
like, and panicking. But actually, like, that's how the natural world works. It's spontaneous and it's, it's like there's cycles, but each cycle is ever so slightly different, and sometimes it breaks. Sometimes
structured
it breaks
chaos.
out. That's why the fact that we have routine all the time it's not really a natural process. Every day should be ever so slightly different.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, shoot. Wait. No, it's
Theatre, breaking convention.
breaking convention. Oh yeah, someone messaged me and he was basically asking for like some advice because he's like struggling with some like bad, like negative thinking and kind of getting caught up in his emotions. And I remember when I was in that state, I remember hearing something that said like, okay, so you're sad, do something that your body isn't expecting. So normally you might go, I don't know, smoke or binge eat or cry or just sit and lie in bed all day.
Right, don't listen to my vices.
Instead, you're just gonna get up and be like, woo, woo, or something, or like go for a run or do something that feels so wrong.
Yeah.
But it's gonna snap you out, and it does. And at first you feel horrible doing it and you don't want to do it. But after a while you're like, oh, that was actually alright, you know, like.
Yeah.
That's life. It's choosing. Okay, let's choose love right now because this is getting old.
Yeah.
Let's break the cycle. Let's do something that even I am not expecting.
Yeah, like my brain isn't expecting this, but I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Shaking it up.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing to just because other people feel uncomfortable, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Yeah. I
love that.
I hope there's more people who are like willing to just like not necessarily have a label on themselves and just kind of
go against the cycle. Go against the cycle there.
Be you, and like if people feel uncomfortable, like that's good. That means you're letting society grow. Yeah. Understanding humans on a deeper level, because guess what? Humans aren't one of a kind. We're not all the same.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like you're saying about that in nature as well. It's like, yeah, there is an overall structure or pattern, I guess, that you can see from like the God's eye perspective, but there is chaos and unexpected things that happen within that structure. So it's like the same for us. Like, yeah, we do have commonalities. Like, I've got 2 hands and 2 feet, but everyone's different. So you got to allow people to, you just got to allow yourself to be that uniqueness. And I think that's what we've been really talking to each other about for years at this point, like this journey of like figuring who that is out and letting it out as well, and having the confidence to do that is a game changer.
It's a life changer. Life, the game.
Also, like when it is a game, definitely. But like when we were talking, it reminds me of that Willow song, Organisation and Classification.
Okay.
I'm just like, I love it because it's just all about like, we could label things to fucking death, to infinity, and it's only going to be a bad thing in the end. Like, you just have to be without the label.
Yeah, it's only going to kill you.
Exactly.
We are squiggles. We're like this. We can't, like, the fact that you try and even fit yourself into a category or a box is just insane. And I know some people do it very well. And they don't know how. Which is why I think some people are kind of the baseline of what that's based off of. So it does exist, and you know, it is there, but not everyone can fit into these because there's far more boxes and squiggles and circles.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever the hell you are, whatever shape you are.
What was your song going to be for the week as well? Because you said that your conversation was going to lead into it.
Yeah, I forgot.
What was the lead-in? What was the context?
I can't remember the context, but basically it's a very, honestly, it's a very surprising song.
Okay. Surprising as in how it sounds, or that you've picked it? Both. Okay. Surprising on all levels.
It's very dramatic and whatever. But basically yesterday I was watching Britain's Got Talent with my mum, another surprising element.
I was doing that earlier and I was surprised I was watching it too, so that's weird.
This guy sang a song and I was like, wow, the lyrics are everything. It was about rising like a phoenix. I looked it up. And it's by Conchita, which is that Austrian winner.
Oh, Conchita Wurst.
From Eurovision.
Yeah, I know that song.
Performance.
Yeah.
Like, incredible.
I love Eurovision. My entire household loves it, so I love it. You've picked this.
I grew up in Turkey, so like that, like when Turkey was in Eurovision.
Yeah.
I think because the country is so patriotic, like everyone was watching Eurovision.
Yeah.
It was the thing to do. Like you all watch it.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, I just remember that being a big part of my childhood. So like I've kind of continued it on as like a due of respect. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, to be honest, it's not necessarily like, it feels very theatrical, like this song.
Yeah. That's Eurovision though.
Yeah, it's Eurovision, but like I imagine it on like West End or like something like that. But the lyrics are just, let me just like read some out because
oh god, it's been such a while.
I was sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many signs right now, and also just confirmations of like, I'm here. I freaking made it. I actually can say that honestly. And it as well, when I say that, people might think, oh, so you've made it successfully or like within your career or whatever. No. I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I've made it.
You've made it back to yourself.
Yeah. I'm best friends with myself. It's great. So, which one should I read? So, rise like a phoenix out of the ashes, seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution, you were warned. Once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn, you know I will rise like a phoenix. that. So
Chef's
good.
kiss.
and then she says, I rise up to the sky, you threw me down, but I'm gonna fly. Ah.
It's like what you were saying about like making that choice to like choose love in the moment or choose to shake it up in the moment.
We're gonna all we'll all be thrown down. We're all gonna be rejected, and just because it's already happened and you've healed doesn't mean you're not gonna be rejected again.
Yeah.
But this time, it doesn't hurt one little bit because you're like, cool, next day. Like, it's not a big deal, and you don't cling for things. You're not desperate. Like, we all need to stop being desperate for things to like stay in our lives, because that's just not it.
Oh, I agree with that, yeah, like, because you do have, I know I had a tendency to really hold on to things when I just needed to let it go and flow with whatever was coming next. I'm definitely bad for doing that in the past.
Yeah, me especially in relationships. Like, I am so sorry to everyone who had to witness that and be involved as the other counterpart.
I'm sure they were on the same journey though in a lot of ways, like your energy attracts like energy in a way, so.
I know, but like, I just want to say that because now it's not a heavy energy. Like, I'm not saying sorry being like, oh, I was the worst, it was all my fault. No, come on. I mean, it's logic, hopefully, or, you know, let's remind everyone and ourselves that there's two people.
It takes two.
Means two.
Yeah.
Both. So, no one is perfect, but at the same time, we can take responsibility for our own actions, and like, I'm so grateful for everything I've learned through them. It's just like, I feel a bit like, oh, I'm sorry you had to be in with that lesson, because that was a tough one.
So sorry that's who you had to be for me.
Yeah, that was your role in my life, and I am very sorry.
You'll send out cards to them, or would have been it just like apology cards from Moonpig.
It wasn't me. It was the higher power.
Yeah.
I did decide
it wasn't me. It was
I'm
a soul
sorry,
lesson.
But you had to deal with that version of Leyla, and she was a little bit of a mess.
Yeah. No doubt, because I mean, there's plenty of people I could say the same thing to. So yeah, sorry to all of you guys as well. I've been a chaotic person in the past with a lot of lessons to learn. So there's definitely been a lot of people burnt by that.
Chaos is a perfect word. Like, I remember when I got my phone died, and I don't have a phone. I got a little notebook, and the first thing I wrote was "humans are chaotic" in it, and that's just what I thought of when you say chaos. Because it's just the best description, but I wrote it when I was in a state of like letting that chaos go, and I think that's why I wrote it down, because I could observe it.
Yeah.
And to me, that is not supposed to be a deep sentence. It's not deep at all. It's a funny one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, look how chaotic we all bloody are. Chill the fuck up. Stop.
But I love the chaos though as well now, because I'm just like, I think sitting in the space I'm in now, the chaos is more just like whatever is unexpected that comes out of me, I just laugh at, and it's fun, and you don't know like where that's taking you, and that's just, I love that element too, rather than it being like chaos that's coming out of like insecurity and trauma.
Yeah. Even, to be honest, with me now, like, even if, let's say today I was speaking to people and I don't know, stumble on my words, or I realise that I'm being like maybe a bit like anxious, so I'm like, it's coming out in that way, and the difference from before to now is like, now that happens and then I go, it's okay, it's fine, okay, let's stumble on our words if that's what's going to happen, and then next time maybe just remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, good one. I'll take that note down. And then
you just carry on.
And then you just carry on with your life, rather than before it'd be like, oh my gosh, they probably thought I was this and they thought this and that, and no, get over yourself.
But
No one cares about you as much as you care about what you've done. No one remembers that. Do you remember what someone else like stumbled their words on? No.
It's funny because like when you do that and it's like what you were saying about holding on to things instead of letting them go. Like when you hold on to like a thought even or a moment like that, then it starts to gain weight because you're holding it there, and then the weight comes in, and then it becomes so heavy, and then it's like, but you also have that choice to just let it go and lighten the load and keep the energy light and flowing. And that is definitely, I've got experience with both sides of that, and I'm definitely happier to be letting it go rather than letting it get heavy.
That's why I used to love watching Muji's videos, because he always makes it so simple. He just goes, okay, so all I want you to do, we're going to sit here and you're going to imagine, we're just going to put the, like you do your slippers or whatever at the door, we're going to put the past over there and the future, any thoughts about that over there. Just for now, you can pick them back up later. They're still going to be there. And now we're just gonna sit here. And it's so simple.
I like how we both just sat there that for a second, like.
Yeah, because we actually felt it, and we weren't even trying.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is. Like the moment that's. I mean, his teachings are incredible. Like definitely to anyone who doesn't know about him, check him out. But yeah, it's just so simple. He, the way he explains, it's just like people are overcomplicating it when they ask him questions, and he just goes, you just drop it. It's that simple. It's
funny though, because like even though it is simple, because everything that you've experienced in your own life feels so individual at the start of the journey, it's not until you start to realize the commonalities and the energy of life itself that then you can start to think, okay, it actually is that simple. Because at first you think like, I'm the only person that's experienced A, B and C in my life, and you don't see the common ground and you don't see the simplicity it could have. So like it's still a journey no matter what, ain't it? Like even though we can say that now, it's still a journey that you got to go on in order to even see that, which is the funny thing about it.
Yeah, and I feel like once you're in that feeling, there's no turning back, but you can go deeper.
Yeah,
but also,
for sure.
it is a constant practice. Like, it's not a difficult practice, but once you have a taste of it, you don't really want to turn back because it's so good. But, like, in terms of, like, ease, I think as well, we attach, quite a lot of us attach our worth to doing. So the idea of doing nothing and not fixing ourselves and that here is okay is a very weird thought. And also for things to be easy is confusing when our society is so built around things being hard and making things difficult for ourselves. Trust me, we make things so difficult for ourselves where we just be like, okay, so I'm really stressed, but I'm also going to add this onto it and this on and then this, and then I'm going to think about this 24/7. Who's doing that?
It's so funny because like you feel like, oh, I can't just do nothing, but you're not doing nothing. Nothing doesn't exist. There is always energy. So when you're sat doing nothing, you're just allowing space for things to come through from that connection to yourself as well. Like when I shut my mind up, I'm allowing things to come through from the core of who I am, and that is like that creation as well. Like when you just write a song or you start painting, like you're in that space of nothingness, but it's actually allowing all of these things to come out as well, which is great.
We come back and I'm like in tears because basically I was like, I hear piano and it's my mum playing.
Your mum's playing the piano?
Yeah, because she's
Wait, explain to me why that's getting you emotional. I need to know.
Because I haven't heard her play for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
And I'd always say to her, I said, play the keyboard or play the clarinet. Because, do it for yourself. Like, do things that you enjoy and enjoy being on your own kind of thing.
Oh, she's like in the residence. She's doing it. Do you know?
And I'm not kidding. Like yesterday night, I prayed for her. This morning.
And now she's literally doing it.
I'm so happy.
Oh. Do you know, as well, just on this topic of doing things for yourself, I was talking to one of my friends, Connor from work, and he had went to stay at his auntie's house to house sit for like 10 days. And he sent me a voice note last night and he was like, I've actually just realised that I love my own company and I can actually spend time on my own now and I can just do things for myself in that way. And it's something that he hadn't realised yet.
Yeah.
So like it's such an important energy and message, so I love that. I can hear her as well.
It's honestly like this, as we were talking about love, the energy of love, this is it. And oh, it's so good. And connectivity, like we're all shifting in the same direction, no matter what it might look like on the outside sometimes. But also, like I was watching this video and I'm sure everyone's heard about this, but like there's scientists who've tried, you know, speaking words of affirmation and love to a plant.
Oh
a
yeah.
crystal,
Or water.
yeah, and water as well, and it does. It really does work. And like when we're kind to each other, it really does wonders.
Well, you think about when people are kind to you, it makes you flourish, you know, because you feel that love and that safety. So like it just makes sense that on all levels that is what you'd want to be putting into things and into yourself.
Yeah. And I think in our society now, like we're all like, oh, but they did this to me and da 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 da. Irrelevant. Do it selflessly. Yeah, have boundaries, but sometimes you can do something selfless. Sometimes you can make them some dinner, or you know, as well, keep up values. Whether like if someone bothers you, especially like family, you know, it is a work in progress all the time. It's a constant effort, and like you should at least once a week set yourself a goal. Like that's what I've been trying to do. Of like, okay, I'm going to be more patient, or I'm not going to get defensive, or I'm going to call this person more, or whatever it is. And maybe you don't do it that week, and then you kind of need to reflect on like why that was, and sometimes it's a deeper rooted fear or whatever. But at the end of the day, like the intention is already there as well, so that's already giving off loving vibrations, as long as you're willing to be wrong, because we're also like angry at each other for our own mistakes, so yeah, I just feel like I'm in peace now.
I love that. I love that your mum's playing the piano right now and everything that you said about that too. That's just so nice. Because I could just hear her playing in the background and I'm like, oh, I just love it.
I literally haven't heard her do that in so long.
You'll speak to her after this and you'll just be like...
Yeah. To me, like, it's the same. So like when I was really depressed and down and in a bad place, I got myself to paint. Because I said, anytime I realise I haven't painted in a while, I go, why? You love painting. You love sitting down and getting lost and being in a state of flow. Painting and creating is always about creation.
Always.
Doing it because you love it, not to get money, not to show people, just because. And the moment you see someone or hear someone doing it, it's so good.
So
very
powerful,
special.
yeah, very special. Oh.
Because we can create when we're in a state of peace. We're not, people create from like a pain painful place sometimes, there's all that broken artist stuff. But you create your best really when you're at peace and when you're calm, because you want to do it, isn't it? You want to actually do that thing because you're like, oh, I feel good. I want to feel more good, so then you create.
Yeah.
It's so nice. And it doesn't feel effortful, like it just feels at ease. Everything's easy.
Organic.
You want to learn.
Oh.
That's great.
I'm just like so zenned out right now because I'm just like here
know.
and I'm just like hearing your mum in the background and I'm just like enjoying the moment.
So nice.
Very
I'm
nice.
just gonna pull a card. I feel like it's the right time now. It's been a great week, to be honest.
I love how it's been about like love for both of us as well. Like that just really coming around and being like in front of me and in me.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's like recognizing it within yourself and being like, wow, I am capable of so much love. Even
actually in like how I'm viewing myself, like I've had a lot of love for like my body this week as well, like genuine love. So on all levels it's been there and it's been great. Come on then.
Like,
come on then. Come on then. Give me it.
Dance with life. Do something to change your energy.
That's funny. That is funny as fuck. Your mum's literally doing that right now.
And she's literally just done it.
Yeah, she's doing it right now. You spoke.
We spoke about it, and oh wow.
That's actually trippy. That's trippy. But when is it not?
Right, but that's on.
Yeah.
That's on the dot. That's not even us trying to find it in any way at all.
I love this because we never plan anything we're going to speak about either. So when it always becomes this connective, I'm just like, this is that flow that I guess we're speaking to.
But it just shows, doesn't it? Because we both got in our comfy corners.
Yeah.
We made sure that we felt comfortable.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's come from experience. Like obviously we've reflected without. This is the thing as well. I think people like sometimes we try too hard to reflect and learn from past things.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a natural process.
It's a natural
that
building
happens.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens naturally, and over time, it's all okay. Everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
So life is always moving. If you resist this ever-changing flow, your energy will become stagnant and you will fall out of flow with the universe. The universe has a mysterious, intelligent force, a natural rhythmic beat, which governs all of life. One of the best ways to shift your energy, frequency and vibration is to put on some music and dance along with it. When we dance unrestrained, our spirit takes over, and with each new bop, sway and kick, we are rocked back into harmony with the rest of life. Get unstuck by doing something that shifts your vibration. Put on some music, dance unrestrained, and fall into the frequency of life. In doing so, your body will begin to learn how to be moved by your intuition, which is connected with the systemic beat.
Mm-hmm.
If dancing isn't your thing, then simply do something you would not usually do to shift the energy. You cannot solve a problem. Sorry, I'm just smiling too much.
No, I'm laughing because I'm like, I was waiting. I knew that sentence would be in there somewhere because I just knew it would be in there because you said it and I thought I know it's going to be in this description.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and you cannot attract a different experience. This is You cannot attract a different experience without changing your energy first. It's time to shift things up and to find a way to dance along with the beat of life. I'm telling you, I had a conversation with this guy that I've literally randomly connected with through skating.
Yeah.
And he was the one who actually ended up reaching out, and this message is so connected to him. And I said to him, I was like, you've been guided to me. And even if this video is just for you, like, mate.
Well, I mean, it's got to be.
I'm definitely gonna link it to him because it's that.
And you brought that up as well, and it's just come full circle right there.
Yeah.
He's about to rise like a phoenix.
That song I've listened to on repeat a little bit, like.
Oh my god, I haven't even told you my song for this week either.
Yeah,
so
what is it?
Talking of bops, also just before I tell you, when I went out on Tuesday night, I went dancing and I danced for about 5 hours. 5 hours just unrestricted, and I was like, I've never felt this free when I've been in that environment. I just went and danced and danced and danced, and it was fucking brilliant. I loved it. But the song at the moment is by an Italian artist called Mahmood. So talking to Eurovision, he actually was in the Eurovision this year for Italy. Yeah, I've only just realised that now. So yeah,
what?
This isn't the song that he was in the Eurovision with, but it's on his new album and it's called Clan. And it's a bop. That the sounds in it just gets me moving, and it's something that my little brother Jack, and he recommended this song to me, and he is someone that would previously never tell me any music that he listened to because he didn't want to, I guess, show that side to him. Now he started to tell me songs that he listens to. I literally love everything that he recommends. So thank you, Jack.
It's called Clan.
It's called Clan, and it's by Mahmood. It is a bop.
But Clan, and he's willing to connect. Mate, the energies right now is all about connecting with each other right now.
Definitely.
It's so good. I'm so excited. Tomorrow I'm going to Love Saves the Day as well. So.
Oh, have the best time. That's going to be fun.
I am so excited.
You're going to vibe.
Because I feel like it's time to celebrate
where
I've come to, and I can't wait to be surrounded by people, everyone I don't know, and just be around music. I'm so excited. It's literally my element. Like, I cannot wait to see this honey. I want to see honey in this space.
Yeah, I love it.
And having the best time in this abundant life, even if societal expectations and the way my life might look to others is not up to par. I am so up to par in my standards.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah.
And it can only go up.
But this is the thing, like, you're at this point now and it's like, let's just have fun with life and let's go out and dance, let's go out and connect, let's go out and vibe. Like, it's just the best space to be in, and but you know,
just not afraid
at all.
That's so good.
Ooh.
Trauma can be healed. Hallelujah.
Oh my god, even what I was saying briefly earlier about how much love I have for my own body this week, I'm like, that is a healed trauma right there.
Same.
It's a healed trauma. I can't believe like how I've been able to look at myself this week. And it's been like just great and a real like release and full circle moment.
That's so connected because, like I said, like the healing of how I'm eating. I've been nourishing my body so well.
Yeah.
Like, I've not been overthinking it. I've just been like, later it's simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
We can do this. Don't try and do something quickly. Let's just think lifelong.
Yeah.
Simplicity. Nourishment.
And everything's about choices, just the little choices you make as you're going through your day.
Yeah, and it just makes you so excited, and I was the same as well actually. It was this morning, I put on my gym stuff, and I saw myself, I was like, you know what, I actually like what I see.
You know what?
For once.
Yeah, that's
great. Because that doesn't happen.
No, but literally, I think if people don't know our history, we've had like very body dysmorphic histories, and I've never had that relationship with my body in that way. And I think because I've naturally been guided into a job where I'm on my feet so much as well, it's brought in like exercise into my life where I've resisted it previously, but it's brought it in naturally and organically and inescapably. And it's put me into this space where I'm like, oh, like I actually am just in my body and like loving what I'm seeing now. So that was great, and I think that's why like my inhibitions are so free too at the moment as well. I'm just like feeling it and loving it.
Yeah, I I think there is definitely a connection with like a healthy body and healthy mind and spirit. Like if your body is healthy and you take care of your body, then the rest kind of follows, and the confidence
you're
follows.
setting that tone.
And I'm not saying you have to have a perfect body. I'm saying a healthy, fit, like a body that you can move. And like I basically recently, I keep going to the bus stop and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to wait this long, and I'm like, screw it, I'm walking. So then I just walk for like the 40 minutes, and it's a like before, I think I was like punishing my body, whereas now it's a celebration for what I have, and I'm so grateful that I even have 2 working lives.
Yes, yeah.
The fact that I can tire myself out. I was thinking how like I've held myself back quite a lot, so whether it's like, oh, that'll make me too tired, let's not do that. Whereas now, like, I think, well, if I was a kid, you see kids, they play until they're literally drop dead. They literally like pass out because they're so tired.
It's funny what you can do when you don't set a limit like that, and that's what I've noticed too. Like I walked like 25,000 steps in one day, like on Tuesday, and I was like, what? Like I wouldn't have even thought I could have done that. But it's just because I was in the moment, and then, I had no awareness that was even happening.
It just shows though, isn't it? It's like mind over matter all the time. Like adults, most of us are just carrying this bulk, like you said, that weight in your brain, that spiritual weight that is weighing your life down and your enjoyment of life. And like kids, they love life so much that they want to push it to the extent where they literally pass out from tiredness. Like their bodies are like actually tired, whereas us, it's our minds and our souls that are tired.
Yeah.
Because we're carrying around all this bulk, and we just need to put it down and say, right, let's go get it, let's just go at it, and I'm gonna go to bed and feel like the best feeling is when you've had a productive and energized day and you are so tired and you lie in your bed, maybe after a shower, even better, or a bath, and you just lie in your bed and you're like, oh my god,
that was great,
amazing.
So many memories, so much fun. Like that's what I've had like quite a lot of that this week, and then it's like I don't even have time to sink my own ship at that point. Like I'm just asleep. I haven't got time for no thoughts.
Exactly. And it's like I always say this because I think because I grew up in a Turkish tourist town, I really observe this a lot in terms of people go on holiday, especially Europeans. You'll go on holiday, and when you go on holiday, what do? You make plans. You try and fill in every moment and make the most out of every second.
Yeah.
That is why we like traveling. But guess what? We can do that with our everyday life.
Yeah.
We can do that every single day of our lives and treat it like a holiday. How can we make the most out of what can I go see? Who can I go meet? What can we do? What new thing can we experience? And even if you are always in the same place, there is always new things happening. Even if your town's just holding like a tiny little festival, go.
Oh my god, you say that. They're doing that here, like in the next couple of days. There's like a festival happening where I live.
Right.
Didn't even know it existed. Apparently it's always been happening. Like a lamb feast where all the community comes together, and I was like, never heard of that. But apparently that's happened all the time, so. But yeah, there's always something.
Go experience it, even if it's not your thing. Go see it.
I know.
Go see what's going on. Just makes us understand life better and people better. I mean,
I've gotta go, Leyla.
Okay.
My little brother's just texted me because we are watching. Have you ever seen Survivor?
Yeah.
The show? So like we're watching that tonight, so I can't be late. We do this thing where we pick 2 contestants. It's so like as soon as the show starts, we'll pick 2 people that know nothing about them and see how far they get. And so far we've got a really good track record of like getting people in like the top 5 or 3.
Okay.
But the 2 people I've picked, both of them are gone now, so it's just riding on Jack. So I've got to see how this final goes, see if he's picked a winner. I love it.
Okay, well, bye.
Bye. Oh, much love, much love.